Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos and welcome to Olivine City, where today the Olivine are hosting the Lumiose Lightning. And the Lumiose Lightning are going to start out with Toxtricity and Raichu being in its Cantonian form, whereas Metagross, the pseudo-legendary, and Steelix are going to start out for the Olivine All. Now let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today, the first place Olivine All or the 16th place Lumiose Lightning. Now Raichu is going to have that speed advantage for the electric types, which is going to be huge, and starts out with a Shadow Sneak. And it goes for Metagross, who has that Psychic typing. So it is super effective, but Metagross stands very strong, very defensive. Toxtricity tries for a rest here, but it's already at full health, so it's not going to put itself to sleep. Metagross. It's going to go with a Water Shuriken. Now, this won't be very effective on the electric types, but it goes for Raichu. Clearly responding to that Shadow Sneak. Hits it twice. It's got 3, and will get 3 hits. Steelix now going for its first move of the matchup. And Steelix is going to go with a takedown. It's going to get some recoil damage from this. But it goes for Toxtricity. Gets some decent damage in there. Now, as always, this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle. And if we hit that 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime. And we only have 3 rounds left in the season. That's including this game. As Raichu throws a present at Metagross. And it does do some damage, but that was not very effective on the Steel Psychic type. Toxtricity with a turn to follow, with its opportunity to follow up, and goes with the Power Trick. So Toxtricity will switch its attack and defense with that move. Metagross, who's had an amazing season so far, is going to go with a Cross Poison. Goes for Raichu again, and will take it down into the yellow. Very good hit, but Raichu's static ability is going to leave Metagross paralyzed. This could be very good for the Lumiose Lightning if you can nullify Metagross, who, as I said, has had a very good season. Steelix now going with the X-Scissor. Goes for Toxtricity. It's not very effective on the Poison Electric type. Now, Olivine All have locked up their position in the finals. They are currently sitting first, but they are safe. So no matter what happens, they will be in the final 8 for the championship trials. As we get a Leaf Blade coming from Raichu, targeting Metagross still. Again, not very effective. Those Steel type resistances have been a big factor throughout this season. And Toxtricity goes with the coaching, providing some support there to Raichu. Raichu will have its attack and defense boosted. Steelix now, speaking of Pokemon with impressive defenses, 200 base defense, and Steelix goes with a Drain Punch onto Toxtricity. It's not going to do a great deal of damage, but it will move Toxtricity down into the yellow, and Steelix will get some health restored. Now Metagross is able to shake off its paralysis, and it's going to go with a Brave Bird, so it's going to get some recoil damage from this hit. Going for Raichu, and it will finish it off, so the Cantonian Raichu has been eliminated. Good start for the Olivine All, but they have always had a very good season. They've only lost 4 games so far this season, and they do not want to lose today to the Lumiose Lightning, as Luxray comes out for the Lightning. Lumiose Lightning will not make the championship trials this season. They've lost their last 7 games, and in doing so, they've lost their opportunity to actually be able to qualify. This Toxtricity goes with a Blaze Kick onto Steelix. Super effective. Takes a third of Steelix's health there. Now Luxray goes with a Fury Attack. This won't be very effective on the Steel types. Takes Metagross down into the yellow with that first hit though. It's got 3. And there's 4 hits. And it gets all 5. It is a 5-time hit. Very good start there by Luxray. Unfortunately, still not very effective attack. Steelix is going to go with a Slash. Going for Luxray, taking its first damage of the matchup, and Metagross looks to follow up again, shaking off that paralysis. As it goes for a double edge, it's going to get some recoil damage again. Goes for Toxtricity, takes Toxtricity down into the red, but Toxtricity is still hanging in there as Metagross takes that recoil damage. The Lumiose Lightning could focus their energy onto Metagross here and get it eliminated. As we get a Future Sight coming from Toxtricity, and it is going to focus that Future Sight onto Metagross, so that will hit in a number of turns. Luxray now is going to go with the Swords Dance, so it's going to boost its attack here. Now Luxray is an offensive attacking Pokemon with that 120 base attack. Offensive attacking, saying the same thing twice there, as we get a Volt Switch coming from Steelix, going for Toxtricity. It's not going to be very effective, but it will finish Toxtricity off. So it's been eliminated, and Steelix will go back to the bench. So don't be confused, Toxtricity was taken off the field because it was eliminated. Steelix taken off the field because it goes back to the bench, as we have Aggron come on for the Olivine Ore now. Metagross is going to go with the Retaliate. It's going to focus in on Luxray here. And a decent hit takes Luxray down into the yellow. So very well done there by Metagross, continually shaking off that paralysis. Now it's 2 eliminations on the side of Lumiose Lightning. Olivine Ore still have a full side as the Alolan Raichu now coming out onto the field now. The Alolan Raichu is a Psychic Electric type, and it's going to have that speed advantage on the field. Lumiose Lightning have been the quickest all throughout this battle, but it's going with a Misty Explosion. And just like that, Raichu has eliminated itself as soon as it comes onto the field. That is terrible for the Lumiose Lightning. It's even set the scoreboard into disarray. As Luxray hangs on and Luxray is going to connect with a Thunder. Not the greatest accuracy of moves, but it goes for Metagross here. And Metagross has been eliminated by Luxray. So that's the first elimination for the Lumiose Lightning. Now Aggron could actually finish Luxray off here. And it's going to go with a Draco Meteor, so this should get the job done. You hear that bell toll. And Luxray has been finished off. So there's only 2 Pokemon remaining now on the side of Lumiose Lightning, whereas the Olivine Ore still have 5 remaining. Magnezone comes out for the Lightning. And Magnezone actually could have been drafted to the Olivine Ore, being part Steel type, and it's joined there by Arctozolt. As Steelix comes back out onto the field for the Olivine Ore. This is very bad for the Lumiose Lightning, who actually started off this season very strong, but as I said, that 7-game losing streak has been terrible for them. That court change from Magnezone will fail. Arctozolt's going to look to follow up. And Arctozolt's going with the Volt Switch. Now goes for Aggron here. Gets a very good hit in there onto Aggron. Now, Volt Switch will normally put a Pokemon back onto the bench, but it won't work, as there's no bench for the Lumiose Lightning to go back to. But a Searing Shot comes from Aggron. Now it's super effective on Steelix and leaves its own teammate with a burn there. It's also super effective on Arctozolt and Magnezone. Even leaves Arctozolt burnt as well. And now Steelix is going to go with a Screech. Focuses in on Magnezone here, so it's going to lower its defenses with that Screech. And Steelix takes that Future Sight attack. A massive hit, not very effective, but Steelix was almost eliminated with that move. And there's the burn. The burn will finish Steelix off, so Steelix has now been eliminated. This is fantastic for the Lumiose Lightning. Klinklang now coming out for the Olivine Ore. Now Klinklang and Magnezone share a lot of similarities. Just looking at the two, you can see that. So we'll see if they have any rivalry between each other. Klinklang. For once now, the Olivine will have that speed advantage, and it's going to go with an ally switch, so it's going to switch its positions on the battlefield with Aggron here. Now it's facing straight in Magnezone's direction. Magnezone's going to go with the Morning Sun, so it's going to restore its health here. Magnezone taking itself back to 100% health. Arctozolt goes with the Supersonic, but Klinklang avoids that attack. Aggron now goes with the hold back. Targets Arctozolt with that attack. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but Arctozolt takes more damage from that burn as well. And the Olivine Ore sitting about 2 games ahead of 2nd place, so you have to think odds are they will end up at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the home and away season. They want that 1st place position going into the championship trials. Huge advantage going in if you were in 1st place, getting that bye in the 1st week. Magnezone's going to go with the Earth Power. Targets Klinklang with that move, and a massive hit. It is a 1-hit wonder. Klinklang has been eliminated. Magnezone clearly not liking the appearance of Klinklang. Arctozolt can focus in now. In on Aggron, goes with the Leaf Storm. This should be super effective. And that grassy terrain is around it to give it a boost. And Aggron has been eliminated as well. That is fantastic fantastic for the Lumiose Lightning, who have leveled things up on this field. Now, the Olivine would be immensely embarrassed if they lose to the Lumiose Lightning today. They want to add to that losing streak that the Lightning have. The Olivine have been so dominant as they send out Ferrothorn, a Grass Steel type. Ferrothorn is going to be joined by Copperaja. As I said, Olivine don't want that embarrassment to be the team that the Lumiose Lightning and their losing streak on us. Synthesis from Magnezone won't work because Magnezone's at full health. Arctozolt's going to go with the Air Slash. Targets Copperaja. It's not going to do a great deal of damage and it's not very effective, but Copperaja's flinched, so it's not going to get a move out this turn. Ferrothorn now setting up for a future sight. We saw this earlier in the battle. Focusing in there on Arctozolt. Arctozolt's going to have some health restored thanks to that grassy terrain. As will Copperaja. Copperaja going back to full strength. Arctozolt taking that damage from the burn as well. This is anybody's game at the moment now. Arctozolt is taking damage from that burn in between turns. And that will stick around longer than that grassy terrain as we get a mean look coming from Magnezone. So Ferrothorn can no longer escape, but there's nowhere for Ferrothorn to go. Can't even go back to the bench. Arctozolt goes with the Leech Life. This time going for Ferrothorn. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but Arctozolt doing well to try and keep its health in the green. Copperaja now is going to go with the Rock Blast. Goes for Arctozolt here. Gets the first hit. Multi-hit move, it's got two. If it gets a third, it should finish it off, but that super effective hit only connects twice. Ferrothorn could finish Arctozolt off here. Instead, it sets up a light screen. Olivine making themselves stronger against special type moves. Now Arctozolt does go back into the yellow thanks to the grassy terrain, but then it gets that burn which takes it straight back down into the red. So Arctozolt is an easy target for the Olivine and could potentially lead Magnezone all by itself. Magnezone now is going to go with the Sludge Wave, but it doesn't affect Copperaja or Ferrothorn, but it's going to still hit because it will connect with Arctozolt, its own teammate. Arctozolt has been eliminated by Magnezone. This is terrible for the Lumiose Lightning because now Copperaja and Ferrothorn can both focus in on Magnezone. Get a power trip coming from Copperaja. Now it's not going to do a great deal of damage to Magnezone, but Ferrothorn's going to look to follow it up here. And Ferrothorn's going to go with a Work Up. So it's not going for an offensive move, instead it's going to boost its own stats. There you have it, Ferrothorn boosts its attack and special attack. Magnezone does restore a little bit of health thanks to that grassy terrain, as does Ferrothorn going back to full strength. And Magnezone has the speed advantage over Copperaja and Ferrothorn. If it can get out some fire type attacks, it can do massive damage. Magnezone goes with the Fire Fang, so it's doing the right moves. And it goes for Ferrothorn. Huge damage to Ferrothorn, takes it down into the yellow. Copperaja now is going to go with a Tearful Look, so it's not going for an offensive attack. Magnezone's attack and special attack will be lowered here. Now Ferrothorn did boost its attack and special attack in the previous turn. And it's going to go with the Power Whip. And a huge hit. Magnezone has been eliminated with that not very effective move. Magnezone was almost at full strength and Ferrothorn takes it out and gets the victory for the Olivine. What a hit. That takes the Lumiose Lightning to 8 games lost in a row. This is embarrassing for the Electric side. Now, the Lumiose Lightning need to end this losing streak, and next week they're going to Rustboro City to take on the Rustboro Rockies. So we'll see if they have better luck there, but with the way they've been going, the end of their season is looking very poor. Whereas the Olivine have been so dominant this season, they've got their 12th victory. Again, they've only lost 4 times, and they're getting closer to locking up that first place position. At this stage, they've locked themselves up a place in the top 4 leading into the championship trials, which is fantastic for the Orb. And next week, they're going to be... Who will they be facing? They will be going to Striaton City to face the Striaton Spring. Now, at one stage, the Spring were sitting in second, but they've been slipping lower and lower, almost falling out of the 8 on numerous occasions. So the Olivine will look to capitalise on that Now, it was impressive by Magnezone and Arctozolt to get it back to a 2 versus 2 battle, but they just couldn't hold on. Even Magnezone eliminated its own teammate, unfortunately. And even with that Fire Fang, it couldn't take down Ferrothorn. Here's that Sludge Wave, taking out its own teammate. Steel type's been immune to poison type attacks. But that Power Whip from Ferrothorn, getting a massive hit, doing impressive damage. But Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on the field. If you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, share, subscribe. But more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time.